The first summer of our marriage was all sunshine, barbecues, and dreams about the future. The same week I found out I was pregnant, my husband got a new job in California. I wouldn't have to teach anymore, and I'd be at home with the baby. I can't really explain why, but I remember that night when everything changed. It was like a light had gone out, and everything just went dark. The first time he yelled at me was after a party. He said I was spending too much time with his friend. I thought it was a joke, but when the plate hit the wall, I stopped laughing. He apologized later while I cleaned up the mess. For years, I tried to put together the broken pieces. I didn't talk with other men, I smiled less, I barely left the house anymore, but things still got worse. Reality stopped making sense, his moods were unpredictable, and I was afraid of everything. I felt like I was hiding in my own home. I even cooked in the dark. It was hard to believe that I had once been a teacher. Now, if I ever talked, it was barely a whisper. And when we went to church, I was afraid to look at anything but my feet. And eventually, we just stopped going altogether. It took 10 years to realize things wouldn't change. Even after he left me alone in the house for a week, I still couldn't bring myself to leave. I tried my best to hide the bruises and keep the yelling behind closed doors, but when I saw the fear on my sons' faces, I knew they deserved better. And then Family Services gave a presentation at my son's school. They showed me something better was possible. They helped me find the courage I'd lost. Still, walking out that front door was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. There were never any bars, but for 10 years I lived in a cage. I was afraid to be in the house, but I was even more afraid to leave it. When we arrived at the shelter, we had nothing, only the clothes on our backs. Family Services treated us like family. They gave us clothes, shoes, toothbrushes, even toys for my kids. I felt lost, completely dependent. I had spent most of the last decade living in a bedroom, and even the idea of buying my own groceries overwhelmed me. But people helped me with little things, like how to write a check, how to open a bank account. When I was too afraid to ride the bus, they encouraged me, just ride it, all day long if you have to. It will be okay. So I did. The biggest help was the other women. The first night in the shelter, they comforted me, smiled, touched my arm, but mostly they just talked and shared their own stories. And the more I listened, the more I was able to find my own voice. Sometimes it is still difficult to walk through that front door. It takes a while to remember that I'm not alone. It's hard learning to live in a community again. Family Services has given us a place to stay, and my boys, they call it their palace. It's lighter in the house, more talking, more smiling. We cook together, we go to the park after school. And at night we read stories. And there's nothing better than to hear their voices and to watch their faces as they read. I'll read too when they ask, though I'm still getting used to the sound of my own voice. But it's a start.